Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. The official trailer for Olivia Wilde's upcoming second film, Don't Worry Darling, was just released this morning and I'm very excited to check it out. I liked Booksmart, which was Wilde's directorial debut, but when I saw that her second film was going to be a psychological thriller slash horror, I was surprised, but very intrigued. With a movie like this, it's clear that there's going to be some sort of big twist, so I've really avoided looking into the film too much because I don't want to know too much about it going in. But I figured at least the first official trailer should be safe because I doubt they're really going to give away much of anything here. So with that said, let's check it out. Okay, so Oogum Boogum song. So I guess this is the mid-60s then. Thought it was supposed to be 50s, but again, could just be using a random song for the trailer.
You and me.
Always. You and me.
Somehow I doubt it, because this is going to be something different here.
We men, we ask a lot.
Okay. Definitely very Stepford Wivesy there, with all the cars pulling away at the same time.
A house clean, and discretion above all else.
Very interesting look to this film. Very artificial, which is probably intentional. Yeah, so clean, everything's so aesthetically pleasing.
What are we doing?
Changing the world.
What are we doing?
Changing the world.
That's right.
Kind of culty.
They're really doing out there.
What do you mean?
The one thing they ask of us is to stay here. Where it's safe.
Alright, so everything's artificial, everything's fake.
Do you
Okay,
even know what the
so
Victory
again,
Project actually is? Have you ever asked?
Do you?
Please. What's actually happening?
Stop it, Alice.
What if this place is dangerous? What if
No. Jack, it's okay. I'm curious to hear where she's going with this.
I'm curious to see where this movie's going.
I need you to listen to me.
It's kind of a throwback to Midsummer there.
We are not going backwards. We're pushing forward.
Everyone is acting like I'm crazy. And I'm not crazy.
Our life together. We could lose this.
I don't trust
I'm really curious to see where this is going.
and I don't want to be here anymore.
Definitely a pretty stacked cast there too. So September. Okay. So yeah, I'm still extremely interested in this. This movie, just based on the very, very limited information we had a few months ago, I put this on my most anticipated movies list for this year. So I was interested then, but I'm even more interested now that I've seen the trailer, because I'm really curious to see what's actually happening here. There's definitely some sort of twist, definitely some sort of psychological element. Something is not reality in this situation here, or the things that the husbands are doing. It has a very Stepford Wives kind of feel to it that not in the same exact sense that I don't think necessarily all of these women are robots or are being controlled in a certain way, but maybe, I don't know, I don't think that Olivia Wilde would kind of just do another remake of Stepford Wives, but it definitely has that kind of vibe to it, and with that, the look, right, the visual kind of aesthetic of this film, I really enjoy it. It has, it's obviously kind of a period piece. It's kind of confusing if it's 50s or 60s. Some of the cars looked kind of 50s to me, but maybe they were 60s, but then the music was from like 66 or 67. but again, I don't know if they're just using that song for the trailer and they're listening to something else in the actual film. But the actual look of everything is very artificial, right? It's this very fake 50s or 60s look, which I think is intentional here, because obviously there's something weird about the situation. There's something weird about this place, about what the husbands are doing, about the whole situation. And it has this very almost stereotypical 50s, 60s kind of perfect neighborhood look. So that artificiality and like overly clean, overly straight lines, I think is intentional here, but I think it looks really good, right? It's cinematic and visually appealing. So I think that's interesting. And I'm just really, I'm excited to see what happens here. That's kind of my big takeaway is I can't wait to see what this story is actually about. But from what we see here, right, like the cast looks pretty great too. Chris Pine is always kind of good at, he's always good at being charismatic, but he's pretty good at being kind of a charismatic creep, where like, you know, he's doing something weird, and you know, you're not sure if you can really trust him, and I definitely don't get a very trustworthy feel from him, from this trailer at least. So he's good at that. And then Florence Pugh, of course, I'm really excited to see her in kind of another starring role here. And another sort of horror. This seems more psychological thriller drama than straight up horror, but maybe it becomes that. So not really comparing this to Midsummer in that sense, because I think it's a very different type of film, obviously. But there were a few things, like the woman up on the roof and then Pugh's response to see them drop down. And so there's some parallel there, but I'm excited to see her in another film like this. I think she's going to do a great job, or at least seems like she is from this trailer. So what do you think of this film? That's just my take on the trailer here for Don't Worry Darling, but what about you? Are you excited for this movie? Do you have any sense of what you think might be going on? Do you get vibes of Stepford Wives or other types of films? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this reaction, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainely Movies, the way life should be.